Hari sir, I hope you got it. Okay, fine. So, should we proceed with the commands?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So, now once we go inside the command prompt of GSCI, how do I come out? Sometimes we may need to come out. So, we can just say Control D. So, all of you come out of the GSCI prompt and say Control D. You get back to your normal prompt. Okay. So, again I go back, VHCI. I go to the compiler. Fine. So this is how now this is called as a GSCI interpreter, because we are not compiling any file here. So this is interpreter, and we can type direct commands here, simple commands, arithmetic commands, or simple functions we can type here. We can even try if then sentences, multi-line statements. So we will today what we will do is we'll just form the basis, all the basic types and simple arithmetic, some Boolean equations, some inbuilt functions. So we will try to see it. Okay. So I'll just open my PPT. Before that, meanwhile I open the PPT, you can just try some operations like this: 2 plus 5, as we always begin with any other language. So you can try 2 minus 5. Okay, so these all operators are present. Then let's say 2 into 5. So you please try along with me. Okay, then I say 2 divided by 5. Okay, I got fractional number. Then I say 2 raised to 4. Okay, I got power. Okay, everyone getting? So I'll just open my PPT now. Okay. So the first slide we have finished with. We downloaded the platform. This is what we tried. Control D command we tried to quit it. Again we went back to GSCI. Now we are at prelude prompt. Okay. Please try these operations. Now we tried first, second, third. Now what is this? 2 into negative number. So whenever there are two operators in succession, we have to give bracket. So let's try. Okay, so 2 into, sorry, 2 into bracket minus 3. Okay, so we are getting minus 6. Now, there is something written here, IT. So in Haskell, if you want immediate result, previous operation ka result, if you want, it is stored in variable called IT. So I just type IT. If you see, there is a minus 6 there. So this is what not there with other languages. Sometimes it happens, we need previous result, then it is available in it. It is only for the arithmetic operations. Okay. Now if you see next equation, 50 into, type along with me, 50 into 100 minus 4999. So my result is 1. It is 5000 minus 4999. Now what happens? I can use arrow keys to recall previous command. Now if I give the bracket, then what happens? Let's say give the bracket here. What has happened? It has done precedence is given to bracket and then the multiplication. So we have some topic called evaluation order. So when it comes to arithmetic operations, the order is same like any other language. Or like we say division, multiplication, then plus, minus, and above everything there is a bracket. So bracket is given preference here. But Haskell has many data types such as list, tuple. Those who have learned Python, they might know. So list, tuple, and function is also considered as a data type. When if all of them are there in one expression, then function has the first priority, and then other things list, tuple, and then your arithmetic is there. But again, parenthesis if you give, you can give that particular part of the expression first priority. Okay, so you can try second statement, 40 statement with 40 into 100 division, and we'll see how priority changed. Are you with me? Okay. So if you by next statement you'll come to know again precedence rule, how it is followed. In previous line 40 into 100 mein there is no bracket, so it is dividing 50. I think 50 will be divided by 5 and will be added to the rest of the equation. Whereas in the second statement, the bracket result is calculated and then that whole result is divided by 5. I hope so everyone got that. Now what happens is Haskell is called as a lazy evaluator. Okay, it will not simply calculate unless you tell it to do so. Plus, it is very intelligent compiler or a language. You need not tell it type. Like in C language or in Java, if we have to declare a variable A, then we need to give some type of it. So you look into the command window. If I say A is equal to 5, okay, and if I just say A, it says A is stored with 5. But if I'm using C, I have to declare that maybe something like this, integer A equal to 5. So Haskell is little similar to Python here, that it takes whatever you type, it understands the type of variable automatically. So we need not say integer, float or something like that. Okay. So if you type something like this, then also it is taking 5, but then integer and all float data type we need not declare. Okay, again what happens is whenever you are doing any arithmetic operations, Haskell expects you to give similar type on both the sides of the operator, like 2 plus number plus number. Okay, let's see, we'll add some floating point number, 2 plus 0.4. So both our types are number. So how do I know what is the type of my result or what is the type? So I can just see I have stored A equal to, let's see, I have stored some string in the A, or I have already stored 5. So I will just type, I can use the command T or just type type A, and it says that A is a number. Okay, so this style of writing you will understand once you study lambda calculus, especially these two columns and arrows. Okay, so by using type command I can see A. Okay, so coming back here, the point of discussion was if I add numbers, then Haskell will not give error. But if I do something like this, if I add 2 plus high, let's see what happens. Please do it along with me. So 2 plus high. Okay, so it gives you the error. So if you see, Haskell errors look very horrible. They are very difficult to decode, in fact. So it takes a lot of practice. Okay, it tries to tell you that you are adding number to the string, which is not valid. So all the errors have same structure. Then if you say number 1 plus, let's say, add true to it. Now whenever you are writing Boolean variable, you have to type it capital T. First letter should be capital. Okay, there is some. Okay, we'll just see this. So this will again give error. Yeah, somebody has doubt. When I write integer a is equal to pointer and online a variable, not I a scope b. Sir, are you on window only, sir? Integer z is a different. Okay. Okay, so you can print the variable. Probably you can say print print a. You can try this command.
Sorry to interrupt here, ma'am. Does Haskell support spaces in the names?
No, no. I don't think
Because
so. I
when
never
I
tried, ma'am, but we can try it here. We'll just try
yeah,
it
yeah.
here.
I tried that, and I guess because A and int A are considered as two different variables, is what I've just
Yes,
found.
yes. It won't support because in the next slides, I mean, maybe in the next session, we will study while writing the function, the space has specific meaning instead of brackets. Like any function when we write in other languages, let's say if we write if function, then we give brackets, right? So in Haskell, instead of brackets, we have to give space. So space has a special meaning there, so we cannot use space in the variable name. Okay? I hope I cleared your doubt, ma'am. Yeah.
No, actually, what I was saying is I tried it with int space A, and it accepted it as a variable, and it is also performing operations with int space A.
No,
Probably,
so it will take as a two. It will take as a two different variable, na ma'am?
um, yeah, but it was not throwing an error, and it is actually happening. Ma'am, you could also try instead of A now, just try int space A, and then give a value, and then again ask the value of int space A, or you can even perform multiplication. Is what I just tried, and it is giving proper values. So
Okay, okay, fine, fine. No problem, ma'am. It's fine. Okay. If you're getting it correct, no problem. But variable space is not accepted.
okay.
Yeah, fine. So coming to next now Boolean variables. If you see, if false and true, we just type false false true. Fine. Now there is next is AND operation. So probably we can try true. So AND is double AND ampersand true and I will write false. Okay, so it is giving false, and if I write true and true, fine, it's giving true. Similar way, the pipe symbol is used for ORing operation. So if I say true and true, true or true, true. Okay, so we have to say false. You all can try different combinations. False. So false or false gives me false. Right? And other combinations, all other combinations will give me true. Okay, so how we try not operation? So not has to be written by this word, keyword not. So if I say not false, then it will answer me true. Okay, and if I want NAND operation, so I will go to the AND. For example, 2 and 2 had given me true, so I will put not before this to get NAND operation. NOT. Right? Similarly, I can do not. Now XOR is directly, there is no command. One has to use built-in function or design our own small function. So that part we will take later on. So few of the operators, like for example, even percent sign is not used for mod here. There is a mod operation, mod function is available. So I hope this is clear. Arithmetic and Boolean operators.
Yes,
P
ma'am.
should be in capital one letter. Yes, yes, somebody saying P and F should be capitals. Yes, they should be capital while writing Boolean variables.